Hey there, Cowboys fans. Thank you all so much for clicking on today's video. I want to let you guys know that we are almost to 80,000 subscribers. It was not that far ago that we were talking about getting to 69,000, which was nice. Now we're trying to get to 80. We are just barely 200 away from hitting that number. So if you're part of the 50% or so of people who watch the show but aren't subscribed, now is the perfect time to get that change. Hit that big red button and subscribe today. And coming up right now, the latest rumors and news around the Dallas Cowboys. Let's dive into those rumors and news, beginning with one DeAndre Baker. Could he come to the Dallas Cowboys? I'm going to give this one 2 stars. I am totally on board with investigating and doing the due diligence and at least exploring it as a possibility. I am not convinced, however, that that is going to be the case for the Dallas Cowboys and for DeAndre Baker going to Dallas. Now, Mike Fisher reports that the Cowboys are looking into it. I will make note Baker's armed robbery charges were dropped because of a very clear case of extortion, but he may have done it, he may not have done it. Who knows? That's very much unclear. The Cowboys have to at least explore that. And if it comes back with, hey, the Cowboys think he did it, then no, you're not going to sign him at all. If you think he didn't do it, well, then I think you should explore it, given he was a former first-round pick. Now, the report out of the New York Post was that these 4 teams were interested in DeAndre Baker: the Chiefs, Bengals, Niners, and the Jags. Noticeably absent from that list was the Dallas Cowboys. My reasoning and my theory there, those 4 teams have expressed interest to DeAndre Baker's camp. The Cowboys are still working behind the scenes doing their own diligence and own research to see if he's a player they want to bring in. Now again, if he's, assuming he's cheap, because otherwise what's the point, but if he's cheap, we have to remember, DeAndre Baker, last time we saw him, wasn't very good. His 2019, especially early on, was decidedly rough and rocky. But former first-round pick, and if you're looking at the Cowboys secondary, it's not that great. Heck, you could even try DeAndre Baker at safety if you wanted to get creative with it. And not to mention, Awuzie and Lewis are both free agents. So I think if you're the Cowboys, you have to at least explore the potentiality of adding DeAndre Baker to your roster. You have to go through your checklist. Okay, is he a guy we trust off the field? There were also some pre-draft whispers of attitude being a problem. All of those things are potential red flags. Not to mention, of course, the armed robbery charges, which, again, were dropped. And if all those things come back, say, yeah, okay, well then, yeah, explore it. I think you absolutely should if you're the Cowboys. So get your votes in here. Do you want the Cowboys to sign DeAndre Baker? I say yes if you trust him off the field and he's cheap. Maybe that's the case, maybe it's not. But get your votes in. I will make this the pinned comment on today's video. So if you get the ad break here on YouTube, scroll on down, type Y for yes, or type in N for no. Let's talk Andy Dalton. Is he going to start for the Dallas Cowboys this weekend? It's almost 4 stars to me. Mike McCarthy continues to play it coy, so I'll give it 3 stars instead. But the expectation here is that, yeah, Andy Dalton is likely going to start at quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys against the Minnesota Vikings, which I know not all of you are big fans of. Dalton has cleared protocol, both COVID and concussion protocol. He's back at practice. The expectation is that, yes, he starts. McCarthy said he's looked good so far, but it is a process and blah, 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 coach speak. What concerns me and gives me the most pause here is that the offense did look better against Pittsburgh with Garrett Gilbert. Now the completion percentage definitely still favors Andy Dalton, but the mistakes favor Gilbert, and I think that matters there. And I know many of you would love to see Gilbert get the starting nod. So for maybe one last time, maybe not, because the minute the Cowboys lose, we'll ask it again. Pick a quarterback. Type AD for Andy Dalton or type in GG for Garrett Gilbert. Now, the Cowboys this week are a heavy underdog going on the road against a Minnesota Vikings team that I guess we'll say won against the Bears. It felt like they didn't lose that game because it was ugly. But the Cowboys are coming off their first cover of the season, so we are bringing back our bet cover guarantee. For new BetUS customers, if you sign up and deposit, at least $100 to get the deposit bonus, and you bet on the Cowboys to cover against the Vikings, and they don't do it, I will cover your bet loss up to $50. Just email us at cowboys@chatsports.com once you get started with our new sportsbook partner, BetUS. Head over to chatsports.com/bet and use the promo code you see on screen, Cowboys125. Put down $100 minimum to get that promo bonus and the deposit bonus and to be eligible for the bet cover. We'll take care of you. So again, that's chatsports.com/bet. The promo code is Cowboys125. And just email us, cowboys@chatsports.com. I'll put the email in the description, by the way, if you have any questions at all. Let's talk defense now. Chidobe Awuzie, is he finally back? I might regret this, but I'm not going to be a coward. 4 stars on this one. I think at long last the Cowboys are going to have Awuzie back in an actual game. He's been activated from injured reserve after not playing since week 2 due to a lingering hamstring issue. And the timing is actually pretty important because Trevon Diggs is going to miss some time for the Cowboys. Look, in reality here, Dallas needs Awuzie at corner. The one potential red flag that I have here is that the Cowboys cannot be trusted when it comes to injuries. There's always something that they're kind of covering up. Took Anthony Brown longer than planned to come back. Awuzie missed way longer than the Cowboys thought he was going to. Trevon Diggs will eventually be officially placed on IR because he's going to miss at least 3 weeks there. Getting back Awuzie, who's only played in 2 games this year and still has one of your only interceptions, is important. Because with Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen playing for Minnesota, I don't think you necessarily want Jordan Lewis and Anthony Brown as your number 1 and number 2 corner, and maybe they call up Savion Smith, and oh man, that would be a complete and utter disaster. But we've mentioned a lot about Chidobe Awuzie, his future with the Dallas Cowboys, and we'll keep you covered on everything that goes on with him and a potentially revamped secondary this offseason. Once the season ends, we don't go anywhere. We keep giving you guys daily Cowboys videos on all the latest news, the rumors, a lot of NFL draft talk this year. Cowboys might end up with a top 5 or top 10 pick. So if you're a true Cowboys fan and you want to stay updated in the offseason and not just during the games, hit that big red button and subscribe today as we get closer and closer to 80,000 subscribers. Let's talk now winning the NFC East. I'm actually going to give it 2 stars, which feels weird because in any other division, it's fake news. But the NFC East is so bad, the Cowboys are still somehow in the mix. The Eagles still lead the way at 3-5-1 because ties and games played and all of that. The Giants are 3-7. Washington and Dallas is 2-7. So the Cowboys, technically speaking, are actually in last place right now in the NFC East, just because of the tiebreaker against Washington. But as the Dallas Morning News was, I would say, apt to point out, I guess, things are going to get a little bit different. And the Cowboys' schedule actually isn't that challenging the rest of the way. A game against Minnesota, I don't know if they're going to win, but I think they can keep it close. The Washington game, if you're trying to win the NFC East, is super important. You're not going to beat the Ravens. No way. Thursday Night Football, short time, no, I don't think you're going to win that game. But the rest of the final 4 games, I mean, these are all winnable. And if you had Dak Prescott, you'd be favored in every single one of those games. So the Cowboys, I can't believe I'm saying it, but I'm saying there's a chance. With that said, I actually don't know if I want the Cowboys to win the NFC least, because best case scenario is you miraculously win a playoff game, and then you're picking 23rd instead of 4th or 5th. So you can get your votes in here. If you think the Cowboys will win the NFC East, type W for yes, or type in your L for no. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Let's look ahead to the offseason now here. How about trading Amari Cooper? I am down to have the discussion because you should always do your due diligence, but I lean towards no, both what I think the Cowboys should do and what I think they will do. I'm going to give it just a 1 star here. There is an argument behind it. Katie Drummond, I thought, laid it out pretty well, and I get what he was saying. Look, Dak's contract, it's going to be expensive for the Cowboys. That's the reality here. And the defense needs help, and hypothetically speaking, maybe you could get a first-round pick for Amari Cooper. And Cooper's production has dipped because, there is no Dak Prescott, but, I mean, what else did you really expect without Dak Prescott there? And you could save money. You would save $14 million if you were to trade Amari Cooper away. And you know what? Cedric Wilson was playing very well before before Dak Prescott got hurt, but he's also been bad since then. And I know you have CeeDee Lamb as your slot receiver and Michael Gallup, and if you trade Cooper, you can maybe pay Michael Gallup, when his contract is up. So I get the rationale and the decision-making behind it, but Katie also played devil's advocate in his article and pointed out this stuff. Look, I would consider it if you would get a first-round pick back for Amari Cooper, because a first-round pick is valuable. But you know what else? I don't want to make one of my strongest positions weaker. And Cedric Wilson, I think, is good because of Dak Prescott. So, okay, maybe that's not the guy you really want to roll with long term. I would rather keep my wide receiver core elite. And if you're worried about the money, just restructure Amari Cooper's contract. It's really easy to do because the salary cap is a myth. You can make money very, very easily and be able to afford multiple different players. But let me know what you guys think here. I say keep him. But what do you want? Type T for trade or type in K for keep. What should the Dallas Cowboys do with Amari Cooper long term? I'm down to have the discussion. In the end, though, I lean more towards K for keep. Speaking of contract talks, how about Aldon Smith? Is an extension going to happen? I think the Cowboys want this to go down, but I'm only going to give it 2 stars. A, money is going to be a little bit tight for the Cowboys this offseason, but they can make more if they want. The Cowboys and Jerry Jones have continued to express an interest in keeping Aldon Smith, and he has been a very pleasant surprise this year, especially compared to the rest of the players the Cowboys added in free agency. What it comes down to me in terms of the likelihood of it is Aldon Smith turns 32 next season. He's been out of the NFL for several years. In reality, this is probably his last chance at a big, at least by his standards, contract. It's not going to be Robert Quinn expensive, but this is the last opportunity for Smith to truly get the bag. And I think a potential red flag from the Cowboys' perspective, ever since those first 3 games, Aldon Smith has not been the same player. The tackles for loss have dropped. The sacks have dropped. In fact, the 1 sack he had in these past 6 games was a scramble by a quarterback in which Wentz slid down, and Aldon Smith got credit for the sack because he touched him down first. Wasn't really a true sack the way you would anticipate. So I'm still down to bring in Aldon Smith, but I should say retain Aldon Smith, my bad. But I think figuring out what the price point looks like from the Cowboys' perspective and Aldon Smith's perspective could be a potential issue. That's why I'm only going to give it 2 stars for the time being.